Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm back here again, animating another scene from my tomato cartoon. It's called Legend of Tomato, dot dot dot. I haven't decided what the name of it's going to be yet, which is fine, I have time. Um, this scene is really short, as you can see. Tomato looks at his map and then looks up. If we go back a couple scenes, this is the exact same layout as a previous scene, scene 6, that I've already animated, so we can watch it here. He looks up, puts up the sword, pulls out the map, looks at it. The next scene is the map. He's like, there should not be a wall here. And then here we are. So when I set this shot up, I just copy-pasted everything in this scene into a new file because it's the exact same setup. And one of the things I did was I was so lazy and in a hurry I didn't even draw a proper hand here. So his hand should not be open like that. But that's fine for now, we can change it. Alright, so like one of the first few things I do when I start a shot is I like to get my reference image here in the library window. And the cool thing about the library window is, like, if you're not aware, it just shows you everything that's in your file, all the symbols you've created. But what I like to do is have my reference here, and then if you just drag the window, it will make that reference image bigger, so I can always have a picture of my model. So I don't draw his head too big or too small. Actually, his head is looking a little small here. That's okay, it's my cartoon. I can do what I want. Alright, so first thing I'm noticing here is I'm not happy with this arm placement. Let's go into this symbol. You can see how my paint line is kind of overlapping there. Kind of subtle, but it bothers me, so one of the things I can do is I have my line art in a group, and the paint fill is just on the same layer. Typically I put it on the layer below. I'm gonna do that right quick actually. I'm gonna take my fill and cut it, paste it below for each frame. This is riveting stuff, I know, but I just want to do this so I have all of my excuse me, all of my fills on their own layer. There we go. So if we turn that layer off, we have just the line art. If you turn off the top layer, it's just the fill, just easier to manage. So back to our arm here. Cool thing you can do in Flash, since it's vector, is you can actually push and pull this fill and do whatever you want. And if you overlap it like this, it will actually cut it out. So I can just cut my paint like that. There's a little tiny gap in there. I think that's fine. And then come out of the symbol, and now it's a little better. I still don't like how this arm goes all the way to the scarf. So again, I've gone inside the group here. I have to excuse my voice. I'm like pretty groggy right now. And there you go, see, I just sort of cut it. Nice little animate trick. And then I can adjust this. There we go. That looks a little better. Now let's deal with this hand. I don't like that hand position. It doesn't make any sense. So I want to draw a new hand. So I'm going to put a new frame here. Draw myself a new hand. Make sure my brush tool is the right size. There is an option when you're drawing in the brush tool. Where is it? You can scale the brush size with the symbol instance, or you can scale it based on how far you're zoomed in and out. So if I turn that on, zoom out, it stays the same size, right? If I turn that off and I zoom out, it maintains the brush size. That's a relatively new feature in Animate. I don't really use it because I've used Animate so long without it. I find that when I have this turned on, it kind of just messes me up. So I just like to eyeball my brush size as I go. So I'm gonna turn it up, make sure the brush size matches, and just draw a simple little hand here. Nothing too fancy, just has his hand down. There we go. That works for now. And I want to talk about filling in the color here. I had a question from someone on one of my earlier videos from Manga Dud. He said, that was great to watch. Would be great to see more slower down video of your coloring process. I hate the paint bucket as I can never get closed lines. You and me both, Manga Dud. So I think traditionally what you could do is, I'm just going to grab the color from a previous frame with the dropper. And what most people do is they'll just fill it in like that. And what you'll see is sometimes it makes like little gaps here. That's because of this right here. You can tell Animate, sorry, I keep trying to call Animate Flash because it's been called Flash forever, and that's just what I've always called it. Animate, you can tell it to close gaps or not close gaps. That's what this tool is. So I'll give you a demonstration here. So if I tell the paint bucket tool, don't close any gaps, it will just fill it all up nicely for me. If I tell it to close large gaps, it's leaving that little gap there, right? So pretty handy. I'll give you an example here. So let's just like make some stuff with gaps and see if I can get it to do what I want. So I'm going to pick close large gaps. You can see it chose a spot where it decided that was a large gap and just stopped the fill there. And then if I go to close medium gaps, it did the same thing because it considers that a medium gap. And then small gaps, it should stop here. Oh, not today. But you get the idea. I don't really like to do that, as I was talking about in one of my previous videos. I prefer to put the fill layer on its own layer, and I literally just color everything in like this. And I've had so many artists over the years say that I'm wasting time and it's stupid to do it that way, but I like to do it that way. I like coloring in stuff, and I like to keep my fill and my liner separate anyway, so that's how I do that. Another way that I typically do it, as you saw in the arm layer previously, was you make a drawing, look at that beautiful hand, and then you can group it. Now this is a group, and get your fill and just do the same thing. Fill it in, and there you go. It's separate. This isn't super duper crucial. I mean, if you want to just make a drawing and fill it and move on, that's great. But again, sometimes you're going to get into situations where you think you've drawn something closed and you go to fill it in and it won't work. Or you've got closed large gaps turned on and it does that. So that's just something I've always avoided, and I found it's much easier to do it my way. So that's why I do that. So I hope that answers your question a little bit, Manga Dud. Yeah, let's jump back into this. I'm not happy with how this looks, so again, I'll go in here and clean up this line art a little bit, deleting the little extra pieces there. And that seems to work. So I'll come out of the hand symbol. We can open up our frame picker window here and pick the frame. Make sure it's in the right spot. So the thing about the frame picker is when you pick a new frame on your timeline, it creates a keyframe. So in my case, I don't want it to change there, I want it to change here. So I do that. There we go. Alright, so actually I think that's gonna be it today. I don't want to make a 30-minute video. Maybe we'll continue animating this in the next video. Cool. We'll see you next time then. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.